No, you should never get married. And I tell you that as a practicing Muslim man. Habibi, before you enjoy this video, do your boy a solid. I've got a goal to hit 7,500 subscribers by the end of June. So like the video and subscribe the channel. Jazakallah khair. Alright, you guys have asked me for a minute to react to this young man who's been popping on the algorithm, Hamza. Shout out to you, brother, for your success, mashallah. I remember seeing a video with you and the waffler, the wheat waffler last year. And my guy had like 19k subs, so big respect, mashallah. His graphics, his thumbnails, everything's on point. So let's get into the video. Bismillah.
Which girl would you rather date, Jessica or Anastasia? Jessica is a basic. She posts ass pictures on Instagram and goes to the club, but tells you that you can't tell her what to do. Even if
yeah, but listen, Jessica gives up the non-bread with ease, bruv. You get me, bruv. I mean, astaghfirullah, I'm joking.
a committed relationship. I'm just going out to have fun with my girl. Oh, girl. If a girl ever says that to you, bro, if a girl's ever doing fuck and she ever says to you, I'm just going out to have fun with my girls, you're being weird, you're insecure, bro. If you have any level of respect for yourself, you get out of that situation ASAP. Whereas
you know what, yeah? First of all, why does this girl here, why does my girl here look like the masculine version of, the feminine version of Adonis? Why has she got some hinged jaw, bruv? Why is her jaw so hinged? You know, subhanAllah, Islam is so perfect, wallahi. You know, a lot of, if you're a practicing Muslim, a lot of these problems already that he's spoken of, if she wants to go with her friends to the club, bruv, قاعدي بالبيت, راحت طيبي. Translation, stay at home, go and cook some food, bruv. What are you talking about? But we don't have these issues. What club? شنو club? قاعدي بالبيت, اسكتي علينا. Stay at home. What are you talking about? Club. Going to the club. I'm going out with my friends. I want to go with my friend. Shut your mouth, bruv. The food's not ready.
Anastasia was raised in the most perfect, healthy way. She knows exactly what is expected of her in a beautiful, committed relationship.
Yeah, but Anastasia's got a hinged jaw.
She's there by your side to support you, to make you stronger, to make you more masculine and focus on your goals. But she also has high standards and expectations of you. She wants you to be a fantastic provider for her and your children. Anastasia's high expectations for her husband automatically makes you into a better man. Jessica's probably a little bit better a second. Now it's a hard decision.
Alright, let's get a bit serious now. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? If your wife or your woman is the one setting the expectations for you, there's already a problem in the first place. I understand they hope that you're going to aspire and become better than what you are right now. But if she is the one setting the standard, and I know this sounds nitpicky, but if she is the one setting the standard, you've got bigger problems, bro. You know, you should be the one setting the standard.
Oh my God. The majority of people will choose Jessica because she's easy and she supplies more instant gratification. Pleasure right now, and quite frankly, I've lived my adult life choosing Jessica's. I think it's time to discuss how to find your trad wife. This is going to be an autistic video, but trad.
Okay, here we go. How to find your trad wife, traditional wife for those for the uninitiated. And I was asked to react to this video because the gentleman, he said to me that Hamza's not married, has never been married, and you're more qualified to talk on this discussion, considering the fact that you've been married for 16 years and have had 3 wives at the same time at one point for a number of those years as well. But that doesn't mean you can't learn from someone just because he hasn't been married before, so we will see. I haven't watched the video yet.
Means traditional wife. I think there's certain issues with the traditional sort of gender roles, the traditional role, that if we can overcome, that we can have the best, healthiest, masculine, feminine polarity in a relationship, like the most serious, beautiful relationship that we could have. First of all, let's talk about the idea of actually having a wife, because if you're watching this, chances are you've stumbled upon those internet communities that say that you should never get married. You should never get married, it's a risk, it should take half your money. And trust me when I say that I have had that same mindset for all of my adult life. So you may be watching this and thinking, wait, how to get a wife? This guy's blue pill. Trust me when I say, bro, I have fully ingrained like the red pill into my personality. I have.
No, you should never get married. And I tell you that as a practicing Muslim man. You should never get married to the state. You should do a nikah, but you should never get married. You should never sign a contract with the state. Voluntarily sign yourself up to have half your wealth taken. Now I understand if you're not Muslim, then you don't even know what nikah is, never mind do one. But nikah is simply the Islamic union of man and woman that does not involve the state. Now, I understand in certain countries and certain jurisdictions, even if you're not married, if you're cohabiting with someone, they can still have an entitlement to what you own. But yes, you are right in the sense of the union between man and woman in holy matrimony. There are few things more beautiful than that. Few things more beautiful than that. Allah says in the Quran, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم أزواجا من أنفسكم لتسكنوا إليها. And from our signs is that He has created from you wives so that you may find peace, within her. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And He has placed between you love and mercy.
The most top written posts of like red pill. I have some of the most like popular red pill videos. I know what the fuck I'm talking about with this. I've been on this shit for like 7 years and I'm still telling you right now, we were wrong with this. If you think that every woman's gonna cheat on you, that marriage is like you shouldn't be married, you're gonna go about your relationships in the incredibly wrong way, and it's gonna be a self-fulfilling prophecy where you literally end up meeting more Jessicas, because the Anastasias of the world will not be with you if you don't plan to get married. In fact, those women will probably not even have sex with you before marriage. So by saying, oh well, I'm not gonna get married, well, congratulations, you've just disqualified all of the Anastasias of the world. Go enjoy your Jessica, and trust me, bro.
I mean, look, I'm really conflicted here. He does make a point in that obviously the thing with the internet is this, gentlemen, and this applies to the likes of Fresh and Fit. I've mentioned this in my YouTube videos in the past, is that MTR, Mediocre Tutorials and Result, Poor Man's Podcast, shout out to all of them guys. But in order for them to engage you, in order for you to click and comment and engage your emotions and watch all the way to the end, they must pick apex examples. They have to find examples of the worst women known to mankind, known to the internet kind, for them to make videos to react to. Because if they just find you a girl who's a little bit unrealistic, not a lot, just a little bit, that doesn't engage your emotions. So Hamza makes a point here in the sense of, you must be careful with this type of content you are consuming online, because they are, by and large, apex examples. Does that mean that you shouldn't be careful? Does that mean that they don't exist? Does that mean that there aren't some commonalities that are inherent and shared amongst many women, maybe even most women? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But I am simply saying, be careful, because the content that you consume online, the video from the content creators that you love the most, they are reacting to content that are apex examples of the worst kinds of women that this world has to offer. If they weren't, they wouldn't react to it, because you wouldn't engage with the content and their channels wouldn't grow. And I'm not criticizing them. I'm simply saying it is what it is. It's your fault. You're the one who doesn't want to engage with an average video, or with a woman who's slightly unrealistic. You just want to see the apex examples, the apex fallacies, perhaps even. That's your fault. That's my fault. That's not content creators' fault. Here's what it is.
We'll enjoy your Jessica too. If that's what you want, go ahead, cock. What is a trad wife? Because it's kind of like an autistic term. Chances are you maybe idolize the sort of, traditional gender roles from 100 years ago, that the woman nurtures, the man provides. And that really is what my mindset has been like up until I've had this new idea. I'm not certain on this either. Maybe I'm not the best person to ask, but I'll just try and give you my viewpoint on all this. And I think that if you have a woman who has nothing but you in mind, that is fantastic for your ego and your sense of security. With the life that I personally want to live, with a certain level of I need to do some journaling, bro. Don't listen to me, bro. I'm fucking clueless when it comes to relationships. I just keep fucking Jessicas. If there's any Anastasias watching,
you are mega conflicted, bro. Hamza, you are mega conflicted. I'm conflicted with my feeling towards you, because you are candid and open in that regard, and I appreciate that. And I understand that you got to make content, because you got to keep that ball rolling. You got to keep running on the treadmill, but got to be careful, Better to not speak about things that you're not qualified to speak about. Hamza, 97. 97, what does that make you? 25? You're young, bro.
hit me up, man. So a trad wife, a traditional wife, is a woman who understands the masculine and feminine polarity. And polarity just kind of means like the opposites. So men and women, we are supposed to be more like opposites than we are equal. It's like a very weird modern day dynamic.
Okay, I'm not too sure how correct this is. Allah says in the Quran that وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى, that the man is not like the woman, so he's correct in that regard. However, we are more similar than we are dissimilar, right? Actually, it's precisely because there are only a few subtle differences between both sexes that they stand out so much, that they're so glaringly obvious, right? If there were many, many, many differences, for example, if you were to compare a man and an animal, a pig, a donkey, or whatever, no one would even try to compare the two because it's just so obvious. But because we share so many similarities, we both have 2 hands, five digits on each hand, 2 legs, nose, eyes, 1 brain, ears, etc., 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 that we tend to look for the differences. What is different between us? And we are different. There are differences between us, but we are more similar than we are dissimilar.
Saying that men and women are equal, because the masculine and the feminine are polar opposite energies. And so I can tell you what the traditional wife will be like, but the truth is, we need to first start with you. The most clear way to figure out how to get your ideal wife is to simply just put yourself in her shoes and think, okay, what is she looking out for? What is she attracted to? And this is where that sort of like modern day, you go king, just sleep with loads of girls. And this is coming from a guy who followed this advice, right? So you're hearing advice from a guy who went...
Okay, and I would challenge that, and I would say, if you're going to say, what is she looking out for? What does she want? By and large, women don't know what they want. I can tell you from experience. I deal with them every single day. I deal with them every single day, not just as wives, but as clients as well. They don't know what, wallahi, they change their mind like they change their freaking underwear. It's frustrating. I had one woman say to me, she's looking for a man to marry, preferably a divorcee, but he's not allowed to be married already, not in polygyny, right? Then she says to me, oh, I'm looking for a brother that I just want for the purpose of physical intimacy only, because I got too many other things going on. So I want to have a nikah with a brother. I meet him a couple of times a week, and then that's all we do. Then the following week, she says to me, oh, actually, I've changed my mind. I want to be an official wife, but I don't mind it being in a polygynous setup. You don't ask women what they want. Believe me, you show them. Show them what their life could look like if they were to sign up to being with you. And if it looks convincing enough to them and you put your case forward well enough, they will want to be with you. But simply asking them, they don't know. They might have a rough idea of what they want, but they need direction, masculine direction. And that's why it's so important that you are involved in the process of your sisters, your daughters, maybe even your mother, getting married. They need that direction, not because they're helpless little children, but they need that help, that direction.
The male slut pathway. I'm telling you right now that if you want like a good wife, if you want like a great mother for your children, I'm telling you right now that saying to yourself like, oh, but men can sleep around because men are like the key and women can't sleep around because women are like the lock. And bro, I'm telling you right now, the best women will not get with you if they know that you have been a slut. It's as simple as that. All of these guys online, fresh and fit, all of these fucking like red pillars and these kings and stuff, they'll disagree. But look at the women that they surround themselves with. Is any one of them like a trad wife? They all pay for sex. They've all got like these fucking whores.
He makes a point here. He makes a point in that a self-respecting woman, it's not that she doesn't want to. She may well still have that desire to want to sleep with that guy. And this is where we must draw a distinction. But if she is a self-respecting woman, she knows that the better thing for her to do is to not sleep with that guy. That doesn't mean she doesn't want to, by the way. Doesn't mean she doesn't want to, because she can see all the social proof. This guy's got all these girls around him. Who doesn't want the Leonardo DiCaprios of the world? The George Clooney's of the world once upon a time? Who doesn't want that type of guy? But if she's a self-respecting woman, she will know, look, this is a bad choice. This is a bad decision. But just to make that distinction, it doesn't mean she doesn't want him. She may well want him, but because she respects herself, she will have the self-control and discipline to make a better choice for herself. She knows that if she marries a Leonardo, or if she gets with a Leonardo DiCaprio, once she hits 25, she ages out, he replaces her. It's not a good choice. She's wasted her best years.
On them, they've got like these Miami like little Instagram thoughts. Yeah, they sleep with like plastic girls. Congratulations, you're a plastic guy. If they are Jessicas, then these men are Jeffreys. If that's the life that you want some pleasure, you want some girls that you don't even respect. I
do like the whole Jeffrey Adonis thing, by the way. Shout out to the brother, mashallah, the brother Hamza. I like that Jeffrey Adonis caricatures you've made.
Even but you can just have sex with them. If that's what you want, bro, trust me when I say I wanted that too. I've pursued that life. I'm on the other side and I'm telling you, bro, it's not that great. It's really not that great. As I'm getting older, and specifically as I'm getting more successful, I'm thinking more about having children in like the most effective way. Like I want to give my children the best life possible. Ask yourself this question right now. It's kind of obvious, but ask yourself this question. What is the one single most important decision in your life? The woman that you have children with. That is the most important decision that you will ever make. The woman that you choose to have children with. This is why it's so important.
I mean, if it's not the most important decision, it's certainly one of the most important, because if you pick a bad one and you have kids with her, she can make off with them and make your life a living hell and misery for an extended period of time. That could go on. That could last for decades, by the way. It could go on for decades.
Young man to already be thinking about the kind of wife that you want to have children with, and it honestly needs to be a wife. You need to get married for this. Now you might say, or even younger Hamza from just a couple of months ago might say, wait, marriage isn't good because most marriages end in divorce and most marriages are sexless, and if you divorce then she'll take half your money. But the truth is, let's say 99% of marriages are bad and 1% are like loving and beautiful and so like connecting, and they stay together for so long. Even when they're 80 years old, they're still like fucking in public and stuff, right? That's the kind of like long-term relationship that we'd all like, but we just don't think it's realistic because maybe 1% of marriages are like that. Do you want to be part of the 99% anyway? So yeah, the majority of marriages break up, but it's like, did you consider yourself to be a normal average person? Because when I think of this statistic, and it's like a made-up statistic to me, just saying, okay, 1% of marriages are like perfect, 1% of marriages stay together, they stay having sex, they don't get divorced, they're very, very loving, and they're still like sort of polarized even 10, 50 years later. I think, okay, 1% of marriages are going to be like that. Well, bro, I'm in the 1%. I'm striving for the 1%. Are you? The spot's open for
Here we go. Everyone's a unique snowflake. Everyone's special. All right. This is an extremely dangerous mindset. Okay. In order for a piece of advice to be considered beneficial, it must be able to extend to the majority, not the minority. Let me say that one more time for those who missed it at the back. In order for a piece of advice to be considered as beneficial, it must extend to the majority, not a minority. If this piece of advice is beneficial for a minority, then we must make that distinction. Because what you have just said, Hamza, is perhaps true, perhaps true. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk would beg to differ, but perhaps true for those who are in the 1% minority. And by the way, striving to be in the 1% is not the same as actually being there. Yeah, a lot of these guys on the internet are striving. I'm striving to be in the 1%. Bro, nobody cares. You can't take that to the bank. Imagine going to the bank and saying, hey, yo, listen, Mr. Bank, I'm striving to be in the top 1%. You get me, Rev? I want to buy a £10 million mansion. Can I get credit, please? They're going to laugh you at the bank. What are you talking about? So there's a difference between striving and actually being, okay? Just because you're nobody, the world doesn't care about your striving, and some women certainly don't care about your striving either, right? Shout out to Rich Kuba. Women wait at the finish line. Sometimes women will place a bet on you, to be fair, but generally speaking. So this piece of advice has to be made a distinction. That is, if you are part of the 1%, then she is less likely to leave you. But simply striving is not good enough.
Man who wants to try. Getting to the top 1% of men is not difficult. Anyone who tells you otherwise is fucking lying to you. Getting to the top 1% of men is not that difficult. There's 100 guys, beat 99 of them. 90% of guys don't exercise at all. There's 100 guys, being the best one is not that difficult. Okay, when we start saying there's 10,000 guys, 100,000 guys, 1,000,000 guys, that's when it starts getting difficult. But out of 100, go walk past 100 men right now in your street. Go walk past 100 men. Visualize 100 men that you walk past. You're telling me...
I mean, he's got a point. That the baseline level is so low. The baseline level and standard of men is so low today that beating them is not hard. I think, what is it, 70% of the US population is overweight. Just by virtue of being in shape, you are now part of the 30%. And if your body fat is between 10 and 15%, God knows what percentage that puts you in, what percentile. So there are many ways to distinguish yourself and to separate yourself from the crowd, particularly in today's day and age, because men by and large have become fat and lazy. both physically and metaphorically.
Can't be the best one. Totally up to your control to be in the top 1%. And that's in terms of, like, you know, being in the top 1% of men in terms of SMV. And so if you can be in the top 1% of men in, like, terms of SMV, success, attractiveness, physique and everything, then why can't you be in the top 1% of marriages? Because all of the advice, all of the knowledge, the data, the wisdom is out there. There's like 500 very high quality podcasts that literally teach you exactly what it takes to make a marriage successful, that literally teach you exactly what it takes to make a marriage break up in divorce. What if you and your...
Yeah, but there's a problem with many of those podcasts in that they're operating from a femme-centric paradigm. Look, you know the problem with YouTube, yeah, is that it's full of so much bullshit. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, and I say a lot, definitely a lot of my content is a whole bunch of bullshit. Definitely 100%, because I'm a human being. I make errors. It's from the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah, that those of knowledge, the people of knowledge will be taken, and those who don't have knowledge will be the ones speaking and doing the teaching. 500 podcasts out there teaching don't mean jack all. It means nothing. How many of them are purporting or providing beneficial advice? And based upon what? Based upon what? Do you know how many books I've bought that I realized many years later that, hold on, these books are a bunch of garbage. It's coming from a femme-centric paradigm with ulterior motives. This is why, subhanAllah, we need divine revelation as our pillar that we constantly refer to. Now, that does not mean that the religion of Islam has a total monopoly on all knowledge. It does not. But to refer to it constantly, to see if we, from what we have learned from this exterior source, non-divine source, is it in contradiction with the divine revelation? Because if it is, then we have to throw it away. If it's not, then maybe we can consider it. But even then, where is it coming from? 500 podcasts, it doesn't mean nothing. That just means there are 500 different ways for you to get confused.
Your wife, what if you and like the girl that you're seriously dating go through all 500? What if both of you and your future wife, what if you read like 50 books on marriage beforehand, and if your future wife isn't reading them, and you know she's like, oh well, this is boring, I don't care, I want to go out to the club? Well, bro, clearly that's not the right woman then, is it?
Okay, once again, look, even if you read 50 books before marriage, if you can't swim, all right, I want you to listen carefully. If you can't swim and I give you 50 books on how to swim, can you now swim? Can you? No, you can't, because you don't know what it feels like to have the current of the water brushing past you, sweeping under you. You don't know what it feels like to balance your body in the water. You can read as much as you like, but book knowledge without combination of real world experience is useless. Utterly useless. There's a word for it. It's called mentally masturbating. Book knowledge in combination with real world experience, this is beneficial. This is good. This is actually an enhancement to real world experience. But on its own, it's useless. You're mentally masturbating. Reading 50 books on how to swim will not teach you how to swim. You have to jump in the river. You have to get in the water. All right, that's enough of that. I think the bro makes a couple of good points. You know, once again, shout out to the brother. Congratulations on the success of and the growth of your channel. My concern is because you're so young and inexperienced in the world of relationships, that giving advice on relationships simply by virtue of your online success is a recipe for disaster. But shout out to you for your hustle. I respect that. I respect your hustle, and your editing is on point. I envy your editing. Like the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one, inshallah.
نار نار سنفجرها برصاص ما نمحوها العار